Well, negotiations are underway again at the National Assembly with the aim of reaching an agreement over the government's 2018 budget proposal and hopefully putting up for a full floor vote. The clock is ticking after Saturday's midnight deadline came and went without the rival parties reaching a compromise. Let's turn over to our National Assembly correspondent Kim Min-ji, who joins us on the phone with the latest details. So, Min-ji, fill us in on all the latest developments, please.
Mark, floor leaders from the three main political parties resumed negotiations this morning in the hope of reaching a compromise over the government's $394 billion budget bill for next year. Now, it was their first face-to-face encounter after missing the deadline on Saturday, unable to narrow their differences. They are under strain with just weeks left before the end of the year. If a budget proposal isn't passed by the new year, the government will have to draw up a provisional budget that can only be used for mandatory expenditures. But questions linger over whether rival parties will find common ground today, as they are still quite a way apart on key issues. On top of that, also on the table today for negotiation is a disputed tax reform bill that calls for higher taxes on the wealthy and on big corporations.
Now, Min-ji, rival parties have been locked in crunch talks running up to Saturday's deadline, and they're even holding discussions on Sunday as well. Can you just walk us through the main bones of contention?
Yeah, sure. The most contentious area has been the creation of public sector jobs, the Moon Jae-in administration's #1 campaign pledge. The ruling Democratic Party of Korea wants to add some 12,000 new jobs next year. Now, it says it's willing to cut the number to 10,500, but the opposition is demanding the figure be slashed further. Rival parties also still have to narrow their differences over the $2.7 billion that will be set aside for small firms to cushion the fallout from next year's hefty minimum wage hike. They're clashing over how long the support would be provided, with the opposition stressing that the budget cannot be used to bankroll higher wages. The main opposition Liberty Korea party is firm on its stance that it will not accept what it calls a populist budget that will damage the country's fiscal health. The center-left People's Party, which holds 40 seats and seemed to hold the deciding vote on this matter, has also been more or less in line with the conservatives on the disputed areas. Now, Mark, as you know, it's an opposition-led parliament with the ruling party short of a majority with just 121 seats. So winning the opposition support is seen as crucial to get the government's agenda rolling. We will have to see if any compromise is reached today, but at this point it seems unclear, with neither side willing to budge. Back to you, Mark.